Yes, hello. Unless Alistair gets his, or not Alistair, unless Valentino gets his shit together, he's gonna be the only V without a thing, because I've become kind of obsessed with, very specifically, the song Respectless, and because she is a little brat and reminds me of my D&D character, who is, in fact, also a little brat. I kind of love Velvette now. So I think the order of the V's in which I like them is Velvette, and then Vox is like just the tiniest bit behind. So Velvette, and then Vox is like just barely behind, and then Valentino is just all the way down here, where he deserves to be, quite frankly. That being said, I do like how Valentino looks, and I do love his concept. I do generally like him as an idea and as a concept. I just don't like him, like, as a being. I like him as a character, not as a person. I don't know how you explain that, but anyway, you know what time it be. I'm only going to be doing the one because, well, hopefully this one doesn't take nearly as long as Vox did, but you know, we'll see how that goes. We got my fancy schmancy skull brush holder that is supposed to be for makeup brushes. And I was like, but what if instead I fill it with brushes that I like using more? Because that feels like a reasonable thing to do. I'm sorry I don't ever include the me drawing the base out. One that feels a little bit kind of redundant, because then you watch me outline it again later, and that is literally doing essentially the same thing. But two, the reason that I don't include it is because when I'm drawing it, I'm usually right about like this, because I'm trying to draw it lightly so that it erodes away when I do the watercolor. So it's literally like basically this far away from my face as I'm very lightly trying to do the things. And nobody wants to sit there and watch me do that for as long as it takes for me to get this done and then be like, alright, now we can actually start painting. So I just start it ready to be painted, which I feel like is a reasonable thing to do. Also, I know for you this is straight. For me this is straight, because the webcam has to be at a slight angle. So we're gonna see how this goes. I mean, we already know how this goes. We've done it a couple times before, but you know. Doodly-doo. Do I want to start with your skin or your hair? I feel like we start with your skin and we work our way out. Actually, I feel like we start with the light parts of your hair and then we work our way out. Excuse you, why are you so light? Or why are you, like, attempting to escape? Rude. Ah. I'm gonna have to check to see if you have your thingy in. I mean, and not right now, because, well, you still technically work with it out. It's just mildly obnoxious that you're doing the leaking thing. Anywho. I don't know how else to put it. So yeah. I kind of love this little shit. Because she is a little shit, and she very much reminds me of my D&D character, who is also a little shit. And thus, here we are. Also, Not gonna lie, I also kind of really loved the song Respectless by like a lot, so it is like the correct amount of poppy that I enjoy. One backbone of the bees, that I'm being respectless. What disrespect is, you know why this angel's handless. Do you have a disclosure? This is probably a little bit too dark of a color for this pink, because it's supposed to be like almost white pink. But also, if you use almost white on a white canvas, it kind of doesn't work as well. And I feel like going with a very light pink kind of still works anyways. It makes her pop out a little bit more. I need to be very careful how much I squeeze this one, because it seems like it's just going to be a little bit leaky. Do I have a color that's anywhere close to that? I think you are going to be my closest bet. This is where having multiple palettes from multiple different places is incredibly helpful, because you can just grab the colors from there and you don't have to try to argue with mixing nearly as much. Yeah, that's actually very close. I know on camera it looks a little bit... Actually, on camera it looks even closer. In person it is a little bit bright, but I don't know if that's because my lighting in person is directly on it, whereas on camera you're filtering through a little bit, but you know. Hey, it works. Yeah, I have been thoroughly enjoying all of the episodes of this. Also, by the time this comes out, I will have moved, and I will be in a completely different location. So that's going to be fun timeline-wise. Because I also have a little backlog of videos that still need edited, that need to go up. Because I'm only just starting to learn how to do my own editing. Because previously I was relying solely on my boyfriend. And as lovely as he is, and as much as I am grateful for him, he is very bad at remembering to do things. And so am I, but this is why I have literally an app on my phone that I program an entire schedule into in order to prevent me from forgetting to do things that I need to get done. So, I have been learning how to do editing from him, so that both of us can do editing, and that way we're not just relying on him to try to get things done. So, actually by now I will have also already uploaded, because I'm going to be probably posting a video about when I move and doing a new office tour and whatnot. So, that's gonna be fun. I would say look forward to that, except by now it's already come out. Timelines are fun. So how about instead we'll say I'm looking forward to that. This is going to be posted several months after that has happened. Because timey-wimey things are weird. if you're wondering why I'm pre-recording this far into the year, it's because, well, one, because I'm moving and I don't know how much I'm going to be able to actually, excuse me, actually, like, necessarily get done for it. But also, I very specifically wanted to go into May because of a larger convention happening in May. So that way, if I don't get the chance to record anything leading up to it, it kind of just makes sense to record while I know I am able to, and then just add more to it as I can. So right now the goal is one like large video a week, and then if we can manage it, either a short or like a poetry, since the poetry ones don't take that long to record or edit. So at least one big video a week, and hopefully one smaller video a week. And again, by the time this is going up, you will know whether or not I've managed to keep that up. But we're not sure on how we're going to schedule things. Because, like, the only reason that I've been scheduling things the way that I have been is because it's easy to remember when I've scheduled something to go up, if it all goes up on, like, specific days. And I'm probably going to try to keep it up like that. Except for, like, extra bonus, more special videos, like, oh, it's the Pokemon anniversary, so I posted something for Pokemon's anniversary. Oh, it's the release day of Has-Been Hotel, so here's the video for that, because I've been excited about that. Things like that are bonus extra videos, I'm probably not going to count against the count of what happens that week. But, you know, we shall see. Like I said, I think in my New Year's video, this year is going to be quite strange, as this year is essentially me learning how to become adult. So, and that's going to be fun. Okay, so those hearts are also this color. Inside her mouth also looks like it's this color. I do appreciate that they kept the simplified, like, older cartoon sort of thing where they just reuse all of the same colors as they do, like, details and stuff across the body. Also, anyone else feel like this very specific outfit, because she has two outfits that appear, one where she has a ponytail and then this one where she has the pigtails. Anyone else feel like this specific outfit kind of gives vague Harley Quinn vibes? Because I feel like this specific outfit kind of gives vague, like, Harley Quinn, but also, like, Lady Beetlejuice vibes. And I don't know if it's just, like, the two-tone pigtails mixed with the, like, outfit that's got the kind of half and half thing going on with the sleeves and the collar, or what. I don't know. Those are just the vibes that I'm getting. Alrighty. Ooh. I'm the backbone of the face. Nope. Try to keep that over there where the thing is. Alrighty. Do I do skin next? I think I want to do skin next. Because skin's going to require a couple different layers, probably. Because it's like a purple gray. Which means I should probably do the purple first and then do the gray. Come in with the gray after. I'm probably going to do this all with a marker or gel pen, one of the two. Along with like the thinner details, obviously. That's why I wait for it to dry and come back in later. Yeah, I have like literally already drawn my my D&D character dressed as her because they give off similar vibes, and I love. I think I just like characters that can be classified as small gremlin. I've come to the conclusion that I just like small gremlin characters. So, here we are. Anytime I pick it up, it's because I'm working on the sides of the canvas too. It's important to paint your sides, people. Don't leave your sides white, it's unprofessional. And it just looks lazy. Especially when it doesn't take that long to go over. I'm just going to use the same purple that I used for her skin and just not dull it for the background, because that feels apropos. Just not dull the skin tone out for the background. That feels correct. Because again, it's kind of about using the colors that you've already used. I also want to see how it dries down, because I might not have to dull it out for the skin. I might just have to add shading with a little bit of gray. Like a light gray, obviously. But I need to see how it dries first. I also need for this brush to stop being so damn watery. There's no reason for you to be so dang watery. I can never quite get them perfectly centered in the canvas. It feels like every time I do this, I have like one side that's more empty space than the other, and I don't understand why this is so difficult for my brain to understand. Skull details going to get added when I come in with the marker. Yeah, that's how that looks when it's fully saturated. I just used a very light layer coating on it for the skin itself. But I kind of like doing these as the not edited things, because these are watercolor is, I think, at least personally for me, generally more relaxing. A thinner color, or a thinner thing, a thinner paintbrush. I think we're at a good tone for that, actually, so I think I just have to go in and add a little bit of shading with this gray, and it's gonna look real damn dark until I water it out. Actually, nope, that's actually almost exactly the skin tone that I was hoping for. So, you know, that works pretty well. I just need to work on the amount of pigment that I grab with this. There we go. That looks pretty good. Now I need a nice dark ready color. Excuse me. And then a bright red. We're going to do the bright red first. For the eyes, naturally. Yeah, I'm gonna go back in with the white pen later and do the white part. And that'll just be easier, I think. Oh, that actually works pretty well. I know that the face on the angel isn't red. I'm using red because it'll stand out nicely against the blue that's going to go over on this. Why am I putting the red down first and not the blue? Because if I put the red over the blue, it's just going to be purple. There we go. And now I need the dark red. That is almost exactly the correct red. I'm kind of really happy about it. Ah, inside the mouth too. I don't like how light that just random little section is compared to the rest. I'm gonna need you to be colored in, bud. Like, why? Why have you chosen to not color in? I don't ask for much. A token is really a trifle. You won't even miss it. What? It's fine. I'm gonna do the black bits first, because none of the blues I have are quite that dark, which means that having the extra black on the tip is going to be useful to me. I guess if enough of you ask for it, I will make Val. I just really don't like him and his existence. And I understand that that's the point. No one is supposed to like Val. But, you know, feels weird to have a picture of a guy that I have no desire to like in my background. Just and like, unless he suddenly gets like a redemption arc sort of thing, or like a tragic backstory that somehow justifies him and his existence, which I doubt they're going to do. You know, sometimes you just need to leave people alone and let them be evil. Not every character needs a tragic backstory, okay? As much as I love tragic endings, not every character needs a backstory. Or like a tragic backstory. Yeah. Is you know why this angel's headless? Do you have a disclosure? Yeah. And then we do the blur. Yes. So the reason I started up here in the hair is because this part of the hair specifically I need to be darker. So me doing this bit with the black on the tip allows it to be darker. And then I will go in and add shading to this pink. because that needs shaded. And that, kids, is why you always make sure that when you're making water come out of the thing, you're doing it into your hand or into a tissue and not... Don't take that out of context. I'm talking about watercolor brushes, you weirdos. You always make sure that if you must do the thing, you do it in a controlled location, alright? Someone's gonna take that out of context. No. I'm certain someone's going to take it out of context. It's the internet. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are about to be happening. And I have a lot of feelings. Is essentially what it boils down to. I have a lot of feelings. I'm going to cap that one and grab a slightly larger one. And then don't do that. There we go. Now we're covering some ground. Yeah, there's a lot of things happening. I have a lot of emotions. Emotions are hard and scary. And, you know, it's a lot of things going on. And I'm working through them. And hopefully by the time this has come out, I have already worked through them, or at least a good chunk of them. But as of right now, I kind of feel about as emotionally stable as a Psyduck. And for those of you who get that reference, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. And if you don't, hi, welcome to the channel. I am a nerd. And those kind of references are going to happen a lot. So there. Please. Actually, I feel like this blue is, I mean, not dark enough, but also like the correct color given the rest of the palette. If that makes any sense? It's like, it's definitely not as dark as her actual hair, but it is matching the rest of the vibes. And like, it's really hard to get dark colors that aren't black. Heck, it's really hard to get black in watercolor to actually like come up as black. So I feel like this is the correct call. I might go in and add a little bit of black to this part, just to kind of darken it a little. And then just fade it into this blue that's washing out the rest. Alright, I'm gonna hit these sides real quick. There we go. Also, I have to mention how much I absolutely love the music in this show. Like, undoubtedly, the music in this show is great. And we already knew that because the music in Helluva Boss and in the pilot was great. But also, like, sometimes when a corporation gets a hold of something like a musical, they screw it up, so... Not gonna lie, I was a little bit afraid of that, and then Poison came out, and I realized they weren't going to do that. And that was a very big relief, actually. Like, as soon as Poison came out, it was obvious that they weren't going to screw up the musical parts, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness. That would have been upsetting. Did I muddy that too much? I might have a little bit. There we go. And now to shade this pink with, like, I don't know, this pinky red looks like it'll be about a good color for shading. I mean, with watercolor, you can also just shade with the same color you put down after it dries, because it just builds pigment on top of it. But I like to usually try to use slightly different colors. To me, it just feels a little better. I like it. Yes. That feels correct. That feels like the correct amount of shading for the hair. Yeah. Yeah. I like it. Alright. Nothing less than what I please. Oops, I'm sorry, fishy. I gave you a spook. Apologies. There's a little baby. Oh, they must have had little babies. 'Cause him's smaller than any of the other ones I put in there. Well, that's good. It means that they're getting enough foods. That made me happy. Anyways. Now it needs to dry. This is the drying song. I should probably do that, actually. That might be a good one to do. Just to make a little drying song for when I'm waiting for things to dry. I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking of things. Thinking is hard, though. I don't like thinking, usually. Just being honest. It's important to check your watercolors for puddles before you put the lids on. Because if there are puddles before you put the lids on, it means that there's a very good possibility that your watercolors will mold and discolor when you put the lids on after they've been it. If you put them away for any length of time. There we go. And I'm starting to suspect it. You know why this angel's handless. My lips are forever dry. Nothing I do can save them. We're all doomed. Anyways, I found another fine liner. So that's good. Well, another black fine liner, I guess. I knew where the other fine liners were. They just weren't black. I found the other black fine liner. I'm gonna put that over there. Stay. Also, I like when they make the pens like triangle-y shaped. I don't know if you can... you can kind of see. Triangle shaped. Triangle shaped. Because it means that they're not going to roll away if you put them down. I'm kind of getting sick of my pens rolling away because I put them down for like any length of time. Or like even just put them down at all. It's obnoxious. If you're wondering why I'm doing things in the order I am, I'm doing them in the order in which they should be dry. And since the face has spent the longest time not being touched, the face is the bit that should be dry. Hence me doing the face. Also, here's a little tiny theory that I have. I think Velvette is supposed to be a bird, and that's why she has the black on both the top and the bottom lip, because it kind of mirrors Stolas and how he has the black on both the top and the bottom, because it vaguely resembles a beak. And she also doesn't have like an obvious nose when she's in profile. And it would make sense, right? Because she's like the social media person. So she would be like vaguely Twitter adjacent. I don't know, just a thought. Just a thought I had. We yeah. Sorry. Again, I'm lining. Whenever I'm lining, I'm more prone to going quiet. I think these are going to be the only thing in the background that I outline. Just because it feels right to outline them. It's always the end bits where I get more quiet because I'm outlining things and then I'm rating things and I'm detailing things, and that's really the bit that takes the most concentration, if we're being honest. Like, placing color on a character that already exists and you're not trying to design yourself is honestly not massively difficult, at least not for me. Because the coloring has already been decided for you. You sell a phone. And to suspect is, do you know why this angel's headless? Do you have a disclosure? Gonna have to say, I do really like this marker. The problem is it came in a set with a whole bunch of other art supplies, which means getting the marker individually is almost impossible. Unless I want to rebuy the whole set. And I don't. Alright, let's get the whites in your eyes. That's what the cones you sell for. Now they're not going to be pure white because they're going on a base, but you know, whiter. Comes your cellophane. There was something else I was gonna do and I forgot it. And no, I don't mean the writing. Ah, there we go. Let's see if I can't. There we go. I do. Listen, I understand why they deleted having the shines in the eye shadowy bits, because most people don't notice them, and it's just one extra thing that you have to remember to draw. But I personally like them, and thus I continue adding them. That's just how this is gonna work. Alright, now... Ah, that's right. It was that. Alright, that feels suitable. Also, it should be noted, so I don't have the best handwriting. I'm usually fairly good at calligraphy, which is weird. Writing on canvas with something that is not a paintbrush is a pain in the arse. Writing on canvas with a paintbrush is a pain in the arse. But writing on it with anything that is not a paintbrush is significantly harder. Well, or like a brush tip marker. And I do have brush tip markers, so I could use that. But it's still a pain in the arse. Anywho, this one is, I guess, not quite as long as Val, but I guess they usually end up being like an hour and a half when I do 2 of them, so this is still slightly shorter. Put this in front of the better camera. Hopefully this is going to get better soon, too. There we go. Anywho, doo-doo.